If we hit 1,000 likes on this video, I'm giving away 100 XRP. And all you have to do to enter is make sure you press the like button, make sure you are subscribed, and make sure you comment something down below. Also guys, don't forget to press that notification bell on so you never miss another episode. Now today is another very big day for the macroeconomical factors. A lot of things have started rolling again today, and really a lot of important news has come out that I really need to update you guys about. So earlier today, I talked to you guys about the US being bankrupt, we all know it, and the US wanting to erase some debt, we all know it as well. But right now, I think I should introduce you guys to something we've been talking about for a couple of months, but I've really never discussed on the channel before with this name. A new financial system, aka the Quantum Financial System, QFS. QFS, literal meaning is Quantum Financial System, which is an advanced financial system launched to eradicate the cable and banksters' monopoly on monetary systems, and for that purpose, a system comprises of AI and complex computer programs fully backed by banks is needed. Quantum Financial System would be a breakthrough in the world of banking, which led to a new era of banking. QFS will not be influenced by government policies, rather it will be entirely backed by tangible assets like gold, platinum, oil, and will not be based upon mere pieces of papers which have no evidentiary value. QFS can be called the modern era barter system, in which you have to give valuable in order to receive valuable. The recent world financial system is based on the principle in which your money is backed by debt, which already has been taken from you with high interest rates, and in this world economy is flowing, which is serving only one purpose, filling pockets of handful families. There are chances that if the QFS will launch, then all the indebted countries will be able to reimburse all the debts by exporting their national minerals and resources. And just before we actually finish the article here, this last part is really prosperous for, countries in Africa or things like that, which already have a ton of metals to work this system with, that right now are in the worst position that could come up a little bit because they have more to, I guess, up themselves with, which again would really help for the world and, the levels in the whole world. Maybe you don't like that, maybe you do, I don't know, but I'm just reporting it. If we have a look at the current situation of Iraq, then beneath the ice, we will come to know that due to massive debts of Iraq, it is quite tough for them to launch RV because the country simply cannot revalue its currency when it is in debt. And by the way, take this one into great consideration as well. It is quite tough for them to launch RV because a country simply cannot revalue its currency when it is in debt. A country can simply not revalue its currency when it is in debt. Take it into consideration, think about it, it's very important. Contrary to that, if you repay all you're owing with interest, then it's quite possible to enhance your exports, which will revalue your currency. Iraq is a land which will have a lot of natural oil worth trillions of dollars. And do you know, folks, that due to this only reason, Iraq is still on the number 5th in gold reserve, despite of all odd. In the Iraqi dinar community, the gurus are of opinion that it is quite a pragmatic approach towards the RV of Iraqi dinar. Now, this comes from the Dinar Times, so it's not that crazy that they talk about, RV and dinar. So I'm not going to say that that's strange or that it's odd that they mentioned that and that they would like this. However, it's quite important, right? And another one is this one right here. QFS will revalue recessive currencies, which is important to understand as well. And QFS will affect the US dollar. Of course, we can all understand all of that. And China will play in digital dominance and all of that. Prophecies on QFS. I want to read it all. QFS and blockchain, will QFS revalue Iraqi dinar? But for right now, it's important that you have a little bit of an idea, and later on we'll get more into this because there's more articles talking about exactly this situation. Right now, it's just important that you have a little bit of a grasp of what this concept really is. Because basically, the looming bank collapse is really a lot more apparent and a lot more important than ever before. The US financial system could be on the cusp of calamity. This time, we might not be able to save it. Very often we say, banks are too big to fail, right? But basically, the reason they are too big to fail is because of the support, is because of QE, is because of government bailouts. Governments put in money for these banks whenever they are on the edge of failing to make sure that they can never fail, and it is their first priority to do that. However, since there has been already such a ton of money being pumped, And a lot of players right now know that banks are not in the best spot. Like, for example, here, Warren Buffett, in a filing to the United States Market Regulator Securities and Exchange Commission, Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway sold shares of JP Morgan Chase, Goldman Sachs, and even Wells Fargo. Banks in the US too have had to face the heat amid the ongoing situation, increasing provisions to help them dodge the headwinds in the near future. So about this one, again, a lot of guys are knowing that the banks are not really surviving, or that the banks are going down a little bit in their progress right now as we speak. And a lot of people are also, preparing for that by understanding that this whole banking system, like we're seeing it now, could collapse. You can't really compare it to 2008, in my opinion, because 2008 was really based, the reason that everything went down was based upon kind of deception and lies. Right now, I would say a lot is out in the open, right? A lot of the crisis can really be understood just by looking at the numbers and looking at the situation that's going on right in front of you without having to look up a little bit deeper about, what's going on. The QE back then, again, a lot of people didn't understand the full situation like they do now. I think many more people are well more educated than they were at that time. Still, same situation applies where a lot of people will be hit right on their freaking head. They're not expecting this because you can't really expect it. You can't really understand or grasp exactly when such a big change is going to occur, especially when we're talking about, when what banks are going to be falling or when what banks are going to be doing what and things like that. What is important is that there's always connections between all of this and XRP, of course. Now, part is like said in the bottom here, that there are connections between this QFS and blockchain or digital currency. I would say that there's a lot of connection between this and digital currency because it will all kind of rely on things that are decentralized, right? Everything said in here is really talking about the whole situation between the US and China, but also the fact that this reserve and how we view it right now, it will have to be done completely different. And it will have to be in a way where everything is done through complex computer programs, fully backed by the banks if needed. Which, in my opinion, would be some system which utilizes cryptocurrency or blockchain at least. Could have XRP inside of it as well, but just something to make sure that nobody can really touch it. However, it needs to be backed by them, right? It needs to be backed. Now, some are saying, yeah, quantum computing this, quantum computing that. Think about this one, right? Some said, whoa, if it's quantum computing, it's the newest technology, it's going to be Bitcoin. I see a lot of those things. But think about this one. Proof of work does not work. Pun intended, a little bit, because proof of work is only as good as the computers are bad. If the computers get really, really good, your proof of work kind of falls apart because it's just systems which solve computer problems, and the better the computers get, the easier it is to solve those problems. That's one thing, but also the easier it is to break the whole system because, well, they can just crack the whole code if you get my idea right there. And then Bitcoin would work. With XRP, you don't really have that threat. And also, think about this one. If banks get completely redesigned and the banking system is not like it ever was anymore, well, XRP could be the middle piece, right? Because, well, you're going to have things that are backed by tangible assets like gold, platinum, oil, and all of that. Not upon pieces of paper. But think about this one. They're still going to be having to, exchange value and trade things over. And right now we're saying it's backed, but there's still multiple ways to view this. We could say, all right, it's going to be, a new US dollar, which is still going to be, online and on paper. But then it is, really the currency that remains is still going to be, the US dollar, but then just backed by gold and all of that. It could be, it's a gold standard where, it's like everything is denominated in pieces of gold or in pieces of silver or in fats of oil or like milliliters of oil. But depending on what they choose and what they go for, it still depends on how they want to apply that to the real world. Like, are they going to go for new paper bills of gold, like a sort of IOUs where like you just give them like checks where they can, switch it over at their banks, because that's going to be very, very cumbersome. And still you have the problem of, all right, is every country going to be doing this or just the world reserve currency or what? Because I think within this world that we're having right now, it could be backed within individual countries where like a system like this could work within the US. However, another country is not going to follow it, right? There's going to be a couple of countries. So you're still going to need this cross-border remittance like we have right now, which can be, really simplified with using XRP. It's still there. The idea is still there. Another part, which is not that practical, not that, high of a likelihood of occurring, but still it's some way possible, is that instead of this whole gold backed, it's going to be XRP backed, or XRP through a gold backing. which is like, we use XRP, which is then backed on by gold. However, I see that, smaller of a chance of happening, but then it will be like, you just have, you would just have to value XRP in terms of gold, which, still the possibility is there, and then everybody uses XRP because it's a lot simpler to transact than gold pieces. But again, that theory is a little bit more far-fetched. However, a lot of the stuff that we've been talking about today, guys, it all keeps coming back. And one of the things I just saw today as well, first of all, what I noticed is Ripple's partnership with Bank of America appears to be legit. It's been confirmed multiple times, in my opinion. And of course, Warren Buffett is getting into that a little bit. We saw that. While he's getting rid of a lot of other banks, which is a little bit strange, right? Why is he then getting into this one bank, which also has connections to Ripple? And also, he got rid of Goldman Sachs, but Goldman Sachs, some crazy news for that just came out, like right here. Goldman Sachs FX Executive Director joins Ripple's Global Institutional Markets team. Goldman Sachs Global Foreign Exchange and Emerging Markets Franchise Management Executive Director, that's a long-ass freaking title, Aditya Turakia, has joined Ripple as a senior manager of the Global Institutional Markets team. He spent 7 years at Goldman Sachs, so better understand here that he knows what's up, and he knows how to change things, and he knows how to make this one go and move along. Point is, I think, guys, that something bigger is moving on here, right? Something bigger is moving on. We're not being informed by it, but it's happening, and these guys know about it. Otherwise, why would they get a banker like that in the team as well? Why would he leave? Why is he gone? What's going on? Why are people switching over? Do they not trust the banks anymore? Do they want to go for some crazier technology? Because if you think about it, would a banker, right? Think about this one. Would a banker ever join Ripple if he were to know that the banks were to have better technology to solve this whole system than Ripple does? Think about that one. Think about it. Would anybody that's right now inside of a bank, he knows about all this type of stuff that's going on. He knows about what type of technology you're going to be using. And sometimes it is speculated that the banks won't ever use Ripple because they have their own superior technology. Would somebody then ever switch over to Ripple if he didn't think it was better? Would he just switch over for the paycheck? I don't believe that. I don't buy that. I don't buy that you're going to be working at Ripple just for the amount of money you're going to get paid. I don't buy that at all. I think Ripple's really a kind of a niche thing where you have to work because you enjoy what their focus is and what their ideas are. So again, think about that one for a little second. It hit me also where I'm like, that makes a lot of sense. Why would they then switch over if they knew the banks were superior and were never going to utilize XRP at all, or Ripple, and Ripple is useless and obsolete? Yeah, I thought about that and was like, yeah, this all makes a lot of sense. Another one is right here. Acting banking controller makes case for Ripple and XRP by trashing Swift Watch. The chief of the U.S. national banks calls for adopting real-time payments. Are Ripple and XRP the solution? Yes, they are. Piece by piece, we're understanding that the future is going to be using XRP and Ripple for their solutions because it is necessary. Banks know it, we know it, it's understandable, it's out there in the open. Crypto can't be ignored, XRP can be ignored, and it will only get bigger with time. The joke in my world is that if you wanted to move money from America to Australia, the fastest way to do that is to load it in a suitcase and put it on an airplane. I'm not even joking, guys. It is really the truth. If you go right now on a plane, unless you're using PayPal and things like that, right? Which is the same currency then, or maybe if you already have the other currency or they have it, things like that. But we're talking about, just you wanted to send money to your grandma. Let's say she doesn't have anything like PayPal, or I guess PayPal also depends on what currency you want to use and how you have that currency and all of that. Otherwise, you're still going to have to exchange it as well, right? Or can you just change it up easily? Because, I've received dollars, but it gets sent to my special dollar account. But I can still spend dollars in terms of euros. It's just an automatic exchange that it does. So I'm not too sure about that. I think PayPal will be the fastest way at this point. But let's skip about PayPal. The second fastest way is not through a money, remittance type of thing. It's really just you hop on an airplane, you fly for, I don't know how long it is from America to Australia. From here, it's like 22 hours. You fly 22 hours and you're there. And that's that. It's there. Otherwise, if you're going to use Swift and things, let's say you're in the weekends, you're doing this, it's going to get there on right now it's Wednesday, it's going to get there Friday, maybe Monday. Sometimes. It just depends on really what country you're sending it to. I don't know how good the connection is between America and Australia, because Australia is also pretty developed. I'm more so thinking about like some place in Africa where it's going to take a lot of freaking days. So yeah, it's understandable that everybody will need it, everybody will hop onto it. And again, I'll maybe discuss this a little bit later on, this article itself, because I'm not getting too far into depth with it. just wanted to more so point out the connection between why a banker would ever switch if he knew that the technology within the banks was better. I don't get it. And it's not like he's the only one who's ever switched over from ever being into banks into something else. But yeah, just let me know what you think about all this type of stuff, all the connections here. I know the bank system is changing, and some stuff like the quantum financial system is hopping on and coming in. It's becoming a lot more hot than ever before. It's getting a lot more, pace than ever before. And again, guys, I don't think you can wait. But thank you all for watching this video. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you press the like button and subscribe. And I will definitely see you guys again in another crypto video. Take care and have a very, very nice day.